What's going on, buddy boyos? We are live. Welcome to Wednesday Night WINsel. In this stream, we kick back, relax, listen to some fucking synth wave, and just chill, my dudes. We are live and alive. How's everybody doing? Nobody's here yet, but whatever, dude. We're live and alive, dude. What's going on? Yet I am loving this new mic. This mic is just like phenomenal. It's way better than my last mic, so it feels pretty good, man. Music's a bit loud in my ear. Let me adjust the volume real quick. Decent. This is some decent tracks, honestly. I like this music. It's pretty decent. Well. Another Wednesday stream. What's up, Deleted? How you doing, buddy? We are live and alive. What's up, bro? David Zambrano. Hopefully no one roped. I hope so too, man. Over for old mic sales. I hope nobody roped, but we'll never know really. We'll never really know, right? You know, at the end of the day, we'll never really know who roped and who didn't, unless we just never hear from them again. But you know, maybe they ascended, right? Maybe they made it out of here, but who knows? The odds are not in their favor, that's for sure. I got sent a video by where's this guy at? Yeah, by EA Boy. Is this video long? Let me see. How long is this video? This is an hour. Oh, I can't. This is too long, bro. Are there timestamps for this? Why you should move to Thailand? Worth it? Well, they called those idiots who mess with reputation of geomaxers up. They call them passport pookies. Yeah, I might have to save this video for a longer stream. I figured it would be I didn't know it was this long. Shit. I thought it was shorter than that. Never mind, I have to wait. I was gonna play this video today, but I'm like, this video is long as shit. So I'm gonna wait. That's a long video. I will eventually get to it though, but that's a long video, so I'll wait. There's a couple of good videos and articles I didn't cover last week, so I'm gonna cover them today. Here we go. This is the one I didn't cover already. That's one article I have. I have two articles about the birth rate decline. It's getting pretty bad, but it's already been getting pretty bad, but whatever, dude. Here we go. Any good comments here? WINcels? Does that mean we're winning? We're always winning, dog. We win. Every day we win, dog. Every day you wake up, you're winning, dog. My Coon band will take over all of YouTube betas, dude. Based. Hope the cope never ends. It will end one day, dude. Trust me, dude. The cope always ends one day, man. Insane cope posse. What's up, dude? It's over for the white race, dude. Truth be told, I saw some data saying that the white race really isn't that bad off, but depending on how you view it, but it could be cope as well. Winning, not in this clown world, dude. Nah, if you're losing, you're winning, Doug. Unironically, if you're losing, you're winning. I want to cover this quick article real quick, and then we'll get into read some comments, I guess. Women in rich countries are having fewer children or none at all. What's going on? A recent report from the U.S. Center for Disease Control and Prevention shows... What the fuck, dude? Why does... I hate this notification bar so fucking much. It's annoying. Report from the U.S. Center for Disease Control and Prevention shows the U.S. fertility rate dropped 2% in 2023. With the exception of a temporary increase in fertility rate at the height of the Chad-19 pandemic, the U.S. fertility rate has been falling steadily since 1971. Australia exhibits a similar pattern. Fertility has declined since 2007 despite government attempts to invest in the baby bonus to encourage Australian women to have more children. Taking a more global perspective, we can see a similar pattern across other industrial nations. Japan, South Korea, and Italy have some of the lowest global fertility rates. So what is going on here? Despite highly valuing children and our roles as parents, why are women having so few babies? And importantly, why should we care? Wow. How much fertility is good for a country? On my recently launched podcast, Misperceived, what a dumb name, I discuss why fertility rates rule the world. For a population to maintain its current size, that is, neither strength nor grow, the total fertility rate needs to be above 2.1 births per woman. This is because we need to have enough babies to replace both parents after they die. One baby to replace the mother, one to replace the father, and a little extra to account for infant mortality. In short, if you want a population to grow, you need women to have more than 2 children. This was exactly what happened in many Western nations such as Australia, the UK, and US following the Second World War. Women were having more than 2.1 births, which resulted in a baby boom. Many families grew to 3 or more children. This type of population structure, replacement or some growth, is critical to creating a healthy working age population to support the young and old. But in many countries, the fertility rate is less than replacement level, which means the population is shrinking. In the US and Australia, the current fertility rate is 1.6. In the UK, it's 1.4. And in South Korea, it's 0.68. So these countries are shrinking. In the case of South Korea, shrinking quickly. What this means is that more people are dying in these countries than being born. As a result, the population is getting older, poorer, and more dependent on others for their care. For a country like South Korea or Italy, this is a problem for the present. In Australia, this will be a problem for the near future. Someone will have to care for the aging population. The question of who and how will be of increasing policy importance. Why is fertility declining? So women aren't having more babies. Well, there are a few answers. Well, she got the first one right. Women are better educated now than ever before. Women's education has been rising steadily for decades. With Australian women being now better educated than men, Australia has some of the most educated women in the world. Education delays fertility for multiple reasons. First, it pushes out the age of first birth since women are spending a longer time in school and on the cot carousel. Second, it gives women more resources that they then want to trade on the market after finishing a degree. Simply, the women are often not having babies in their teens and early 20s because they are getting their education and launching their careers. Yeah, that's about it. About right. That's about right. So that's the gist of it. Second, young people are being delayed in everything. It is much harder for young people to achieve the traditional markers of adulthood, stable jobs, and buying a first home. Often these are factors that are identified as critical to having a first child, so many young people are delaying fertility due to economic and housing insecurity. Further, we now have a safe and effective contraception, which means sex outside of marriage is feasible and sex without procreation can almost be guaranteed. All of this means parenthood is delayed. Women are having babies later and fewer of them. Number 3, children are expensive and time consuming. This is always the worst answer to give because this is not really true. This is not true. The time consuming part is true, but the expensive part is not necessarily true. Not always true. In many industrialized nations, the cost of children is astronomical. Average childcare costs in Australia have outpaced inflation. School tuitions, even for public schools, absorb a significant portion of parents' budgets. If you multiply this by more children, the costs go up. Intensive parenting norms, which oh my god, I hate fucking Discord so much. Leave me alone. I don't want to talk to you. Leave me alone. Which guide how many people parent emphasize, or I need to probably cut that shit off, honestly. It's ridiculous how many times it goes off. Since a significant time investment in children that are one-on-one, simply we need to spend more time interacting with our children in intense ways than previous generations. And all of this is on top of a greater time spent in paid employment. To do parenting right according to current social norms is to deeply invest in our children in terms of time, energy, and resources, including money. Number 4, workplaces and policies are slow to adapt to supporting caregiving. Our workplaces are still expect significant face-to-face time at work and long hours. Although the pandemic ushered in more remote work, many workplaces are rolling back this provision and mandating people return to work in some capacity. This is despite Australians high valuing access to remote and flexible work, in part because they spent less time commuting and report significantly higher levels of burnout. A nuanced approach is needed. No, the bot is fine. It's just that I keep the fucking a notification on, so it goes off, and then the bar showing and shit. I don't want to. This is weird. It's my own fault. I know that there's a way to cut it off. I just got to do it. A nuanced approach is needed because the reasons behind infertility are not simple. The solutions can't be simple either. Offering baby bonuses, Australia and other nations have done, is pretty ineffective because they don't address the complexity of these interlocking issues. Wow, this person actually admits it, that like the money is not always the primary issue, right? I watched a what if alt his team. He made another video about this issue, and I like him because he studies all the history. He does all the fucking reading, so I don't have to. And he basically said that the two biggest factors that lead to that lead to more children, I believe, was I think he said religion and being rural, being a agrarian society, right? So effectively having a more of a because you notice that a city. He basically said that the cities siphon off population from the outlying areas. In that, so like a city like New York, because the people in New York don't actually breed, they need people in the rural areas to breed, make a lot of kids, and then send some of those kids to the city to also go die, right? It's kind of funny in a way, but it's what normally happens, right? And because of that, so and then the two things that lead to a declining birth rate are atheism, effectively, and cities. It's crazy. So. And in fact, we already know this from the. He also brought up the utopia experiment, which we've all covered here as well. But really, all it really is a huge city, right, full of food and water and everything you need to survive. But it's like a death nail for population growth. A nuanced approach is needed, blah, 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 blah. If we are serious about supporting care, we need better career and housing pathways for young people, more investment in children or child and age care infrastructure, technological innovations to support an aging population, and workplaces that are designed with care at the core. This will create a culture of care to support mothers, fathers, and children, and families alike. Yeah, I read that already. So yeah, there you go. Atheism equals a lack of vitality, instinct, and intuition. Do not think atheism is a direct cause. It is a symptom of a whole. Yeah, there's some truth there. Yeah, I would say it's like effectively. I've been using this phrase for a while now, but effectively, society loses its virtue, right? I use that phrase. It's a rather nebulous phrase, but that's the only way I can really use it to describe it. It's just a lack of like care, like. A nihilism just takes over. He used that phrase a lot, but like a nihilism that nothing matters. There is no God. There is no this. There is no that. Nothing matters. All that matters is making a bunch of money and material items. And then why would you expect people who think that way to have children? Like, duh, of course they're not going to have children because they don't view life as being worth living. They view for them life is a massive a rat race where you just run to the finish line and whoever has the biggest fucking pile of cash at the end wins. Like Sergeant Willie Pete said, you need to give men gainful employment. At the end of the day, what you really, all it comes down to is that you need to take from women and give to men. At the end of the day, women are, because you've doubled a labor supply, the supply of labor. By just a women voting, and then you also have the immigration issue. Immigration issue. You also have this weird you end up with this situation where the women are competing with men for the same jobs, and then the women who do happen to get those high paying jobs, they now outcompete the men that they would otherwise marry, and then a whole bunch of shit happens. Well, Feltry, unless you're going to disagree with all the historical data, like all the actual real data, then I don't know what to tell you, man. It's not per se a cause, but it's definitely a strong correlation between a society that becomes less religious and one that has less children. It's simply it correlates so well if it doesn't. It's almost unreal. Of course, I'm just citing somebody else who actually read the book, but if what he's saying is true, well, it is pretty accurate. Oh, God. Kind of funny because I remember, what's that guy's name? Was it Dawkins? He's like, I consider myself to be a cultural Christian where I'm so mad that the cathedrals are are going away and yada yada yada. Yeah, but it's like, but you spent your entire career destroying them. Like you won't have cathedrals if there's nobody in them to worship the God that you hate, or the one that you don't believe in at all. It's kind of funny. Like, everybody likes Christmas and all these holidays, but like a lot of them some of them anyway, are religious based. And then you expect these things to continue even though people have dropped the thing that made them what they are. Like, it's just weird. What is it? I'm gonna pull up the video. The video was really good. What if alt hissed? People would hate this guy, dude. People would hate this fucking dude. He got a lot of subs though, man. He's grown massively. It's 40 minutes long. We can watch this video. It's not that fucking bad. I got nothing else to watch today, and I had a couple of other articles I could have read, but I can save those for later. There's a really good one from the Wall Street Journal that also talks about the birth rate, but I can only handle so many a birth rate collapse articles in one stream, right? So let's see. Anything good in videos? There's been a lot of good videos coming out. There's I think who had a good video? Thinking he made a great video about women and men never understanding each other, which is interesting. That's a good video. Who else? There's a video that I commented on that was really good. Someone someone left this dude a comment. Please start looks maxing. That beard just doesn't work. Get on minoxidil ASAP unless your actual hairline to consider visiting a stylist. Dang, that is rough, bro. I think it was the Jackson Stack video, Born to Be Average. That was a good, decent video. Oh yeah, Lucario covered the Jackson Stack video. That was funny as shit. I watched part of that stream. I'm not gonna watch it today. Maybe I'll watch it some other time. That video was funny as shit, dude. I'm like, dude, Lucario coping his ass off, dog. Lucario just coping his ass off. Yeah, I'm gonna play it at 1.5 speed because it takes too long to get through this video. Lucario's funny. That dude, man. There's a lot of good shorts now, decent shorts, funny as shit shorts. Dude, what the fuck is this? Oh, dude, this video, that's brutal, bro. She wouldn't even kiss this dude. You guys can't see what the fuck I'm looking at, but funny as shit, man. What in the hell? Yeah, I'm gonna play this video. Let me put the speed up for this video because he talks really slow sometimes. Like, I'm telling you guys, this is what's going on. Like, I get it, man. I talk weird too, but fuck, you talk like a drone. Playback speed 1.5. Thank God. I'm so glad YouTube added that shit, dog. Lucario coping hard. You can't outlift your skeleton, sadly. Huh? I see a bunch of leftists talking about what if alt hiss now. Yeah, dude, they'll go after, dude. What if all? See, look, I don't understand the hate this kid gets. Like, Aaron Clary, he covered this guy too, and I'm like, what the fuck? Like, why are you hating on this fucking kid, dude? All he's done is read a bunch of history books and say, huh, I'm noticing. Like, the moment, dude, the fucking left hates when you fucking notice, dude. They hate when you notice. They hate when you see a pattern and you notice it, and then you can attach that pattern to historical trends and say, huh, I noticed that the moment this happens and this happens and this happens. And then when other historians do this, they also do the same thing. But it's so weird. Like, the moment you start pointing it out, they get really mad at you for pointing it out, dog. They get really mad when you start pointing it out. It's funny, dude. It is funny. It is funny, dude. Yeah, the Aaron Clary videos, the problem with some of these guys, Aaron Clary, in my opinion, dude, oh man, he says a lot without saying a lot. You know what I mean? Like, he talks too much. Like, a lot of his videos could be 10 minutes long, if even that, for what the fuck he talks about. So, I don't know. Sometimes he just talks too fucking much. So that video, it's a good one to cover, but he just talks too fucking much. Too fucking long. Unless I cover it on, SNC or some shit, but Aaron pisses me off. He's successful due to luck, bro, but I got here by hard work. Yeah, bullshit. No fucking way. I love how, like, Gen X and boomers, really, especially boomers, but Gen X somewhat too, they grew up in a completely different economy and different life, and they really don't have much to complain about when it comes to the actual economy. Not really. Yeah, they just credit his sources as right-wing biased books. You know how retarded you have to be to say Secular Cycles is a right-wing biased book? Or Sex and Culture, where Sex and Culture by J.D. Unwin was written by a dude who was a liberal, and he wrote against what he against his preconceived notions, dude. He did. It's funny. Yeah, they call these dudes right-wing. It's ridiculous, dude. It is absurd. Gen X is the most insufferable, smug people ever. They really are. Some of them really are, dude. And I'm like, dude, you guys are literally history's a middle child that nobody gave a fuck about. Nobody talks about you guys, right? It's funny. Nobody does. You're irrelevant in the grand scheme of things. You are. Or they are. Nobody cares. Nobody talks about them. They're irrelevant. Either way, let's cover the video.
We isolate ourselves from history. Anything that happened before World War II might as well have never occurred. The problem that naturally comes from this is that the social vocabulary that our civilization has to understand the issues that we're facing now, or will face in the future, is quite limited. For example, we're ruled by a social class, which I have said in previous videos, effectively worships the religion of progress. They hold progress in such esteem, since if you only look at recent historical periods, progress seems obvious. One of the ideas that I've recently come to terms with is that everywhere on this earth has been a video game map where the game has been playing forever. Even in areas that were formed as civilizations relatively recently, like America, where the Europeans only showed up a few hundred years ago, the native tribes have been fighting for millennia beforehand, coloring the hills red in their tribal warfare, which often killed 40% of the male population each generation. Once I learned that the reason birds sing is to announce their presence to mates and to mark their territory against competitors, the world suddenly seemed really different. The thing is that once you get earlier in time than our current modern era, you find vast population collapses are pretty common. Even if you just go back to the 17th century, which isn't that far by historic standards, some historians think the world's population collapsed by 1/3. The known world's population crashed by half in the 14th or 6th centuries. You find that the world's population crashing by 1/3 happens pretty frequently over history, or realistically roughly every 300 years. You can find even more horrible examples from time if you want to scroll through history, like the Native Americans losing 90% of their population to European colonialism, or the genocide of 90% of the native population of Northern Europe during the Aryan conquests 4,000 years ago. I've been wanting to make a video on the history of population collapse for a very long time now. The scary thing now
yeah,
is
dude. I've been saying this for a while now, dude. The voice pill, dude. Dude, I can't be the first guy to bring it up, right? I can't be the first guy to bring it up. It couldn't have been me, right? I made a video about it, but I couldn't have been the first guy to think of it, right? That voice pill shit is real, dude. It's real. It is real. It's true. Some people just have that weird, not weird, but nasally, annoying, actually guy's voice. Like, it's like, oh god. I'm not trying to make fun of the kid because I think he's smart, but my god, his voice is pretty grating sometimes. I'm like, oh my god, dude. Sandman's got a fag voice. I gotta say it. Dude, he has the voice of a gay person. I don't know. He's suspect. Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. not as bad as Sandman. Sandman is weird because Sandman actually on streams he sounds fine. Like he sounds relatively normal. But yeah. On stream, yeah, he's got it right. Sandman doesn't even talk like that. On streams, he sounds not like a bot. It's weird, dude. It's a fucking weird. It's weird. Terrible voice, but has 606. Yeah, that's true. It doesn't matter. I mean, he's smart enough to. Obviously, you can overcome it. So yeah, the voice pill is real. It's also a pill where white guys have more leniency. Maybe I don't know. I couldn't tell you. Sandman sounds normal. He did an interview with Face where he sounds normal. Yeah. Undead Chronic sounds fat. Dude. Oh, dude. Joker from Better Bachelor as well. Dude, Joker, he reminds me of a random NPC you see in GTA, and they gave him just a normal guy voice. Not even normal guy voice, just a voice. He sounds like he has this weird is a Canadian. It's this weird accent going on there. Blackman was slightly higher pitch while articulating her verbiage. Faggot piss voice pill. Oof. Yeah. The Blackman you have no room for error for a bad voice. That's some truth there. I would agree. Here we go. Let's keep going.
There's no way to avoid the coming population crash of the 21st century. In sheer numbers, this population crash will be easily 10 times the size of any of the previous ones in history. The thing is that this sounds impossible and overly dramatic, but the reality is that there's no way this can't happen. Looking at statistics, it is physically impossible that the world's population in 2100 is not at least half of what it is now, or collapses to 1/3 or even less of the current rate are pretty possible. That's big talk, but let me back it up.
I think he advertises here at one point. He does. Yeah, I remember this part. He advertises.
Video anyway because he believes that your hands and a stick are enough to get the snowball rolling. So grab my stick and let's hit Part 1, A Childless Future. For every 100 Koreans alive today, there will be 4 at the end of this century. The thing is that those are the trajectories now. The scary thing as well is that the numbers have continually gone down faster than we expected for the last 50 years. The birth rate has been crashing faster than any computer model has been able to predict before. This sort of thing is statistically incredibly rare and means that some underlying assumption of our worldview is wrong. That's very scary.
You see, look, this is actually true. I actually like Rehab Room's accent, but because it makes his joke sound funnier. Yeah, the thing is that having an accent is not a bad thing. Having an accent can sometimes even work in your favor, right? You know, some people like certain accents better than other accents, right? You know, but it's just a matter of like your voice. I even cover this in the video where it's like, you know, how does your voice actually sound, and then everything else on top of it, right? Like me having a lisp and a stammer sometimes, or a lot of times, really, but if your voice is like a baritone or, you know, a bass. Okay, you can make it work. If you're a dude with a high pitched voice and you got this affect in it, bro, you're done. I don't know what to tell you, man. I don't know what to tell you. It's over, dog. You know what I mean? It's over, dog. Like, you know what I mean? It's just fucking over. It's just over, dog. I think nasally voice is a problem for men. I would agree. I would fucking agree. I'd have to. Yeah, it is. It's a massive problem, dog. It's a massive problem, dude.
I would recommend reading the book Empty Planet by Bricker and Ibbotson. It covers the entire world and what their population collapse is looking like. The scary thing is that this trend is hitting every single population in the world, and as said before, is occurring obscenely quickly. For example, just 15 years ago, almost all countries in the world had sustainable birth rates, including America. Now, almost no countries, including in places like India, Latin America, Southeast Asia, or the Middle East, have stable birth rates. The only large place with a replaceable birth rate is Africa at this point. The other thing is that these numbers are going down so quickly, even in the poorest African countries, that I expect in 15 years, at the current levels, no countries in the world will have stable birth rates. The other horrifying thing is these numbers aren't stabilizing anywhere. In the countries where they're lowest, like Confucian East Asia, they just keep on crashing continuously. In Korea or China, they're currently at a quarter of what sustainable rates would be. These statistics result in absurd situations. For example, last year, the nation of Ethiopia had nearly as many babies born as the entire European Union combined. 20 years down the road, what kind of world does that create? The shocking thing is,
if you a dude and you talk like Mike Tyson, but you don't look like him, it's over. Yeah, dude, Mike Tyson is the only man in the world that can get away with having that voice, dog. No one's ever gonna say shit. No one's gonna joke. If you joke, it better be a good joke. Otherwise, you're done. He gonna kill you, dog. He just knock you out with one punch. One punch man your ass and then call it a day, dude. Nah, dude, I'm good. You're never gonna hear me clown on his voice, dog. Never gonna hear me clown on that dude's voice. Considering I have the same thing, he's got a lisp, so whatever, dude. We'll figure it out. I'm never making fun of Mike Tyson's voice, dog. Fuck that shit, dude. Fuck that. Yeah, he'll bite your ear so you don't have to hear it anymore. That's why. What's gonna happen to you? Pyramid voice, dude. Pyramid, yeah, he had a weird voice too. He didn't want to hear me say it, but he did have a weird voice. He did, but whatever.
well, is that this is an issue that the major governments of the developed world haven't really been able to recognize at all. Like, it's absolutely absurd. For most countries in the developed world, this is basically national extinction, but their politicians argue over minutia, like whether there are 64 genders or giving aid money to some far-off foreign war in a different continent. I think a lot of people don't treat this as real. The modern world changes so quickly that it's easy to think that some breakthrough will occur that will result in us being able to escape these intractable demographic issues. The scary thing, though, is that the birth rate has kept declining for over a century, with a short hiccup with the baby boomers. Even if we theoretically had a baby boom now, it wouldn't be enough to offset the decline, and at most, it would push this crisis back another generation. 30 years in historic terms isn't that much. When you see these crashing birth rates, keep in mind that this is the future. There will come a time when that ever-shrinking number is our entire society. Hey everybody, please humor me for a shameless plug.
Dude, oh my god, why? Two ads in a video, dog? Fuck you.
before in human history. Although there have been parallels on smaller scales, I've talked about this in many previous videos, and notably the one about decadence. Decadence is a normal historic process that occurs in every major civilization, whether the Greeks, Romans, Indians, Muslims, Chinese, or 18th century Europe. Authors since the Bible or Herodotus have been writing about decadence. It involves the breakdown of shared values, intellectual honesty, ability to fight, unity between the classes, or the society's ability to...
Oh yeah. I agree with you. Drolix, he has a good voice. Drolix, he's a voice monger, dude. Drolix, he's like, dude. Drolix, he got the a Genghis Khan fucking genes, bro. He's big, he's tall Asian guy with the voice, dude. He got the Genghis Khan genes, dude. He's got to have him, dude. All Drolix has to do is just fucking start hitting the weights, dude, every day, dude. He'll be Genghis Khan, dude. We're gonna hear him we're gonna hear about him in the next next 10 years. This man has taken over the whole of Asia. Like, what the fuck happened? It's like he's taking it all over. It's like, how the fuck did this happen, dude? Dude. Faith in LMS is the peak voice monger in the black people. Ooh, I have to agree with that one there. Yeah, his voice is pretty good. Pretty good. Entrepreneurs and Cope has a good voice. Yeah, that's true as well. I would agree. Someone said, I voice mog Drolix. Your voice is pretty good. You have a deep voice, man. You have a deep voice. You do. You have a pretty good voice. The only problem with your voice is that you sound, obviously you used to smoke weed, but you have that weed smoker voice. You can just tell it's there.
On any given level. Decadence is caused by societies becoming so wealthy that people don't need to struggle to improve themselves, so the society grows weak. Crashes in birth rates are a universal symptom of decadence. When Will Durant, one of the greatest historians...
Yeah, I think the only criticism of Face and LMS's voice is that I think he stammers, so do I, but he stammers too. But he said he would drink to not stammer, which is funny, but yeah, he would drink all the time to avoid stammering, which is odd, but that's what he would do.
ever, was asked what was the thing that killed the Greeks or Romans. He said it was a collapsing birth rate. Islam 1,000 years ago was a secular, urban, scientific society, and then those people had no kids. The Turkish barbarians and religious fundamentalists succeeded in Islam, and Islam has been incredibly religious for the 1,000 years since as a reaction against this. Emperor Augustus's Rome was panicking as the Roman elite weren't breeding, as the government created policies to encourage the birth rate. In 19th century France, the first people in Europe to secularize, they saw their birth rate crash, which resulted in the British and the Germans outcompeting them over the next century. My researcher a couple years ago did a project on the factors which promulgate in having a stable birth rate. He found that it was predicted by two things. Every society with these two factors will have a stable birth rate, and any society that does not have them won't. If a society is rural and religious, it will have a stable birth rate. If it's secular or urban, it won't. The thing is, every rural society in history is religious, and every urban society is secular. So really, we're looking at the same factor. A rural society will survive, while urban ones won't. This is a pattern which has followed for all of history. In the ancient or medieval worlds, the cities couldn't reproduce while the countryside did. For example, the cities of Italy in the 1st century BC were majority Middle Eastern ancestry, while the countryside is ethnically Italian. Modern Italians have almost no Middle Eastern ancestry since the cities didn't reproduce. Constantinople, once it became a city-state that lost its hinterland with the Byzantine Empire, really fell apart as a society, since even in the Middle Ages, a city was a demographic sink, which was dependent upon the countryside to reproduce. This also holds for religion. Greco-Roman civilization was one of the most agnostic of the pre-modern world, since its elites were urban. The Middle Ages were a much more complicated society than we give them credit for, and even back then, the cities had a reputation for agnosticism, or not being a good place to raise a family. The British elite stayed religious over the 18th and 19th centuries, while France went agnostic, since the British elite was rural and the French was urban. Once Britain became an urban society in the mid-19th century, it stopped being religious. These trends do take a few generations to play out. For example, the Middle East urbanized in the late 20th century, and devotion to Islam has been in a nosedive over the last decade. Fun side note, I've seen a lot of analysts say that the rise of TikTok is the thing which is destroying faith in Islam today. In rural communities, human societies operate largely under Dunbar's number of 130, which is the number of people the human brain can process and actually know their character. Dunbar's number is fascinating in that the average size of a corporation, a church, a Roman centurion, a military brigade, or almost all types of human organization cluster around 130 people, or Dunbar's number. The thing is, once you get past Dunbar's number, the society can't assess the moral level of people or police their actions socially. In a farming town in 19th century America, a medieval village, a village in the ancient Middle East, or rural India today, everyone knows everyone else. A woman can't get pregnant with the children of multiple men without social recriminations and shaming. A scam artist or habitual criminal will eventually have their reputation destroyed. The governance, although this system does have very obvious negatives, is done by a local feudal lord, village elders, or parish priest who know the characters of everyone involved. Once you get larger than that, it's impossible to police people's actions. This either makes it difficult to get people to cooperate in tragedy of the commons situations, like waging war, maintaining social standards, or social trust. Furthermore, everything becomes lonelier and more difficult since you can't rely on communities. It also wouldn't surprise me if we evolve to have a switch to not breed when population density gets too high for obvious reasons.
Yeah, that's an interesting theory, right? I remember I said this as well, but I remember first saying that perhaps the stuff you see with all the trans stuff is a reaction to the, like, in the same way that the mouse utopia effectively, like, everything just went awry. It could be the same. Maybe that's the effect that this situation has on the human species as well, where we just go crazy, right? There's just things happen, like, it's fucking insane. So it's interesting when you think about it. So
Pre-industrial societies largely got around these issues, since the populations of cities weren't replaceable. Thus, most of the inhabitants of cities were people socialized and from the countryside. So if you want to look at demographics and social structure from the perspective of cities versus countryside, you would see that in the pre-industrial world, the demographics of every developed society in the world were 90% rural and 10% urban. The sort of society that this would create would be a large religious, rural majority population that would provide social stability, but was also credulous, simple-minded, and bigoted. The thing is that we humans didn't evolve to live in cities. We are biologically the exact same as the hunter-gatherers who lived 100,000 years ago, who lived in intact, small tribal communities where they would probably never see more than 300 people in their whole lives. Majority urban societies are incredibly recent, with the first ever being Britain in 1850. This is also why social study after social study keeps on finding that the strength of social bonds and community are so important to health and happiness. When humans were evolving, if you weren't part of a good tribe, you'd just die. So our brains exist to prioritize community. Then, over the pre-industrial world, you had the 10% who lived in cities and were generating new ideas. This 10% in certain societies were able to create more agnostic social structures as they had disproportionate power. This would be especially true in societies where the farmers lived inside the town and worked in the fields outside town. That would explain the free thinking of city-state cultures like ancient Greece or the Italian Renaissance, where the farmers were also town dwellers, thus blurring the lines between city and countryside. As well as this, in societies where there was a centralized urban elite like the European Enlightenment, Sung China, or the Islamic Golden Age, you saw similar results. These would be aberrations against the norm of stable religious conservatism, where the rural 90% would dominate the culture. This 90% would create a general level of social stability so that the periodic rebellions of the urban 10% wouldn't destroy the culture. On the other hand, the demographics of the industrial world are largely 90% urban and 10% rural, or ironically, the direct inversion of agrarian pre-industrial demographic norms. What would a society with the opposite social structure look like? Rather than religious conservatism being the norm, agnostic urbanity is. This would create a society that would be remarkably creative in the short term. However, it would be incapable of reproducing and would also lose the ability to maintain any social standards. For a few generations, said society would see the most rapid progress in human history. Then, after the social traditions and standards of the agrarian era would erode, you would see complete civilizational collapse. The birth rate wouldn't be able to sustain itself and the society would crash into complete decadence. Keep in mind, in pre-industrial societies, which were 90% rural, such as the Roman Empire, Abbasid, Islam, Babylon, L'Ancien Regime France, or Sung China, faced really bad decadence. So what would the decadence of a 90% urban society where no one's scared of starving look like? You would see a breakdown of law and order, the formation of families, the ability to wage war, traditional belief structures, and basically any form of group cooperation. This is literally what's happening to our society. The most advanced nations in the world are pushing degrowth. I have no idea how defund the police helps Black people, who often live in dangerous places, who really do need the police. Furthermore, how defund the police's policies have been pushed in countries that don't really have Black people or well-armed polices, such as Australia, North Europe, or East Asia. However, for the comfortable city dwellers who want to abdicate any social standards, getting rid of the police means there's no external standards that they can be forcibly held to. Oswald's
yeah, truth be told, there are some people who I wonder, like, is there like an NPC voice? Do you guys think there's an NPC voice? I've used this phrase before, but like I think I used it for what's that guy's name? Better Bachelor, right? But like, there's some people who I'm like, I wonder, man, like, is there a soul in your body? Like you know what I mean? Like you just like you just got shat out of your mom's vaginal canal, but there was no soul in there at all. So you just kind of showed up and there you go. Like, it is weird. It's fucking weird, dude. like you can just identify it. Like you can just tell if you're talking to a real person or a fucking bot, like a chat, like a glorified chat bot. Better Bachelor is like the new Vegas NPC. Dude. Some people do not have souls for real. I just assume it, dog. Like, people can listen to me and they can tell there's like a human being here, right? Like, okay, like he's got like weird ways of talking and slang and the lisp and the stammer but at least they come across as like authentic, right? There's some people I'm like, you real or you alive, bro? Like, the fuck? Are you alive? Like, bro, I don't know if I'm talking to a human being or a thing. Like, there's a robot in front of me, dude.
Spengler was a brilliant historical thinker who developed a theory of how civilizations rise and fall. One of the most important points of his work, and a point he kept on returning back to, is that once a population becomes urbanized, it loses the character and soul which made that civilization. The soul of the civilization comes from the earth and nature around which it formed. As the society removes itself from the land, it can apply itself on a larger scale, but it becomes mechanical and artificial. That artificiality isn't sustainable, and then the civilization goes into decline. The great depressing irony is that looking at the strengths and weaknesses of urban or rural societies over history, you can see that our reality perfectly matches the hypothetical scenario. We are a majority urban society, which after its brief burst of incredible growth is now seeing its population and social collapse. Part 3, Mouse Utopia. I'm going to keep this section short since I've already made a long video detailing it in much greater depth. Ironically, a very large part of this channel has spent dozens of hours basically detailing different angles of two different crises we are facing as a world or civilization today. The first of which is the political crisis, or why I think America and much of the rest of the world are on the verge of a major war or political collapse. Then there is the demographic collapse, which we will see play out for the rest of this century, which is attached to psychological issues. I've called this the psychological Black Death in previous videos. It's easy to forget that these two independent crises, which I believe would happen without the other, are hitting us at the same time. Mouse Utopia was an experiment in the 60s and 70s where they put 9 mice into a cage that could hold 6,000 mice. They gave them perfect conditions for population growth. There was infinite food, a lot of space, no disease, and a good climate. They ran this experiment 30 times and got the same results for each time. The population skyrocketed to 2,000, which is again 1/3 of the carrying capacity, and then the mouse social structure broke down. The male mice became effeminate while the female mice became masculine. The mice stopped interacting socially, with a lot becoming autistic. The mouse social system totally broke down, as there were gangs of violent mice who would kill those who continued to breed. The mouse birth rate crashed precipitously, as each time the mouse colony completely died out. Doesn't this sound eerily similar to what's going on in our world? The Mouse Utopia experiment has haunted me ever since I read it. I know it's possible to discount an experiment run by some guy in the 60s, but the thing is that this is the only paradigm that explains a lot of the weirdness of our society. We are the first era in history which wants to commit civilizational suicide. The first era where the birth rate has crashed to the degree it has. A large part of the West is literally pushing degrowth and mass immigration for the literal purpose of replacing the current population. We are the society which has the strongest feminism and most effeminate men ever. Nothing like it has been seen before in history, but it can all be explained by Mouse Utopia. I was watching my friend Homath's YouTube channel, and he showed a video of how in Korea, they have something called the 4B movement. What that effectively means is that Korean women will stop having children, any kind of relationships, speaking with, or sex with men. This is terrifying because it just proves the Mouse Utopia paradigm. Only through Mouse Utopia can you explain a population which has lost any desire to reproduce, or who view reproduction as disgusting. Another scary thing is that the American girl who made a TikTok explaining this approved of the 4Bs and was cheering on Korean women for ending their entire nation. I assess the accuracy of my predictions every few years to compare what I thought would happen to reality. I find I had a bias against nihilism, and that I did not predict accurately how suicidally nihilistic our society or the lefts would get. The 4Bs was something, once I knew about the Mouse Utopia experiment, that I knew in the back of my mind I would start seeing. It's shocking to actually get there, though. I put it in the same mental bracket as the hikikomori, or the Japanese shut-ins who refuse to work, socialize, or be members of society. I predicted there would be a Western version, and now we have the NEETs, which stands for not in employment, training.
Yeah, I'm not going to play this whole video, but I just thought it's a good video. If you haven't watched it yet, watch it on your own time. I might post it I'll post it in the chat. But yeah, at the end of the day, he's not saying anything new per se, but it is interesting to see all the historical parallels. And it's like, well, shit, you can't really argue against the video. It's like, well, shit, yeah, you're talking about facts, bro. Like it is what it is. Here's the link. It's posted in the chat. I played about half the video. There's another 20 minutes left, so let me see. Let's see. The McRib. Someone said the fucking McRib. The McRib. Let me open the chat up. I'll just have the chat open. I have things I could cover, but I'll just let people come in as well if they want to watch videos with me and shit like that. There you go. There's the link, and then let me grab. What's my Discord at? There we go. Dude, this video. I don't know why this video had me laughing so fucking much all day long. This video is so dumb. Video's so dumb, dude. Oh, it's like so funny to fucking pull it up. Can I pull this out? I can't. I'll just pull it out like that. I don't know why the video's got me laughing. I just thought it was funny. It's a cute video, but it's just funny. Look at this cat, dude. Look at this cat. He lost his nuts, dude. He lost his balls. Dang, bro. Look how fat he is, dog. I love the best part of what he realizes. He looks down and says, "What, my balls are gone?" He's like, "Yeah, dude. We took them, dude. They're gone forever, dude. They're gone forever." The part where he opens his mouth and is like, "Oh my god, my balls, they're gone forever, dude. They're gone forever." In fact, isn't that what the the manosphere was talking about? Hey man, get a vasectomy. It's like, dude, what the fuck? Imagine how anti-natalist you have to be to suggest that, dude. Get a vasectomy. It's like, what the fuck? This is another funny one I posted. I don't know why. I love cat videos, man. This is funny as shit. I love cat videos, man. Just love them. I love cats. Like this one just had me geeking out hard today. I was like, what in the fuck?
Okay, let's regroup. Big fella, what I do? Please, bro. Why you just recording? Get your lying, fam. Big fella, let's talk about it. You ain't got to do this. God, help me. Okay, let's regroup. Big fella, what I do? Please, bro. Why you just recording? Get your lying, fam. Big fella, let's talk about it. You ain't got to do this. God, help me.
Like how he has his hands up, like, oh my god, bro, can't do it. He gonna die, dog. Oh, dude. Oh, dude. Let's see. Oh, someone posted some other videos here. What the fuck's that one there? Hold on. There's a lot of good shorts in here. Some of them are just funny, just fun as fuck to fucking watch. Let me see. I feel like there was another good video I wanted to watch. It's a pretty short one too. Let's watch that, dude. That video that what's that guy's name? Thinking 8 put out, man. My god, dude. He is a intellectual powerhouse, man. He just knows what to say, when to say it, and how to say it, man. Let me pull this out. Cause like he describes everything so perfectly, man. He just has a way of like just saying the right things, man. He's perfect, dude. That mouse knew it's his last day. He knows it's his last day. He does. He does, man. He's like, oh shit.
Okay, I will only publish this video if it actually feels really good, because what I'm about to say is really personal and really private, and I don't have to, put it out there on the internet for everybody to see. So I will only publish it if it actually feels good to say it. I've decided to, for a year, try celibacy. That means not get involved in any romantic relationships, not date, not see anyone, not flirt with anyone, not get physical with anyone. Simply,
you can land a plane on her forehead. Dang, bro. Dang.
Be celibate. I guess that's the term.
I want to talk about the fundamental obstacle that prevents men and women from understanding each other at the most basic level. Now, that woman is a famous vlogger, traveler, but it really illustrates a point, which I'll get to in a bit. Before I proceed, let me concede that there is, in fact, in many ways, a lot of overlap between men and women.
This is true. Her forehead has more SMV in this entire chat. This is true. It is known. It is known. It is known. She's going to cave within a month, I'm calling it. Who knows? I have seen her before in person? Dang, bro. Seeking 8 voice mogs. He does, dude. He does. Chad or Rot. Miss Teehee. Miss Teehee.
In terms of range of interest, although, of course, there are average differences, but for basically anything that men are interested in, you can find women are interested in it, and vice versa, to varying degrees, to varying percentages. And some men and some women like the same things. That's, of course, a nice thing, but all of that said, it all really comes back to this fundamental difference in the perception of lived reality based off of different reproductive imperatives. Now, the reason why I posted that is to illustrate.
Dude, nah, dude. Her feet, dude, nah. One literal skin tag, or what do you want to call it, just this piece of skin off her body has more SMV than this entire chat, dog. You can literally go on OnlyFans, dog, and advertise her skin clippings, or her shedding skin and her toenail clippings as commodities, dog. Okay, it has more SMV than this entire chat, dog. It's true. Shit that's not even on her, dog. Literally not on her body no more. It's like, whatever, dude. Just the fact that it was attached to her, dog. Her literal shit has, yeah, it's true. Her literal shit has more SMVs than all of us combined. It's true. Someone's gonna buy it, dog. Someone would buy it.
Just how alien that life is. So if you take an inkwell, for example, that seems insane. This woman is talking about her journey she's planning to be celibate as if it were some great challenge, an obstacle, and something to be overcome, a time to meditate or heal and come to terms with the world as it is and what have you. A lot of mumbo jumbo. And to her, it probably is. To her, who's not too bad looking, still reasonably young, probably has had a lot of experiences with men, that is a big deal, taking a year off. But to the inkwell, in the most extreme case, that is a joke. Now, of course, there's a distinction between forced celibacy and voluntary celibacy, hence the term inkwell. Inkwell is derived from the involuntary aspect of it. The gulf that lies between men and women as a consequence of this is probably insurmountable. I mean, sure, you can intellectually grasp things in the sense that you can understand why in her shoes this is a big deal. And in theory, somebody like her or somebody similar, especially a woman, could in theory understand why an inkwell has his issues and the things that he struggles with. But in actual practice, this never happens because most people interpret reality, understand reality at a very visceral level. They can look at stats, they can read publications and articles, but that's not the filter through which most people experience the world they're living in. And in this case, it's no exception. A little while back, I was talking to a young woman, a girl in her early 20s, and she was complaining about how she just doesn't have that much success in the dating market. And I normally avoid these types of conversations because they're really banal, but from a sociological perspective, I thought, here's an opportunity. And I asked her, do you think you're attractive? And she probably was boosting her attractiveness. She claimed she was an 8. We all know how that goes. It's probably an overestimation, but let's say she's actually a 6. I have no idea what she looks like. And I said, so you really have no luck. Are you telling me, unironically, that no men are interested in you or make offers? And they said, no, not at all. And then I dug down a little bit and dug more deeply. I said, look, you're literally saying no men ever approach you, ask you for your phone number, want to go out with you. And then she started to make small concessions. And then I started to ask some questions. Could it be that you actually do get a lot of attention from men? You're just not interested in the attention. And then she had to say, yeah, most of the guys who approach me, I'm not interested in. And I said, well, that still counts as interest, technically. If you have tons and tons of guys approaching you that want to hang out with you and do things with you, that doesn't count as interest. I said, well, not really, because if I'm not interested, what's the point?
I mean, dog, what the fuck, dude? Not really, dude. What in the literal fuck? I don't know, man. That shit, it doesn't blow my mind anymore to hear the shit like this anymore because it's like, whatever. Like, you already know that, like, they get so much fucking offers and so many offers in a given week that compared to the average man that it's not even like close. So like for them, yeah, as Jay said, you know, if it's not Chad, it doesn't count, right? If it's not from Chads or people, you are not. Yes, that's true. Yeah. If it's not Chad, it's not to be had. Yeah, it's true. We don't have tons and tons of girls approaches. Yeah. Chad sexual, isn't that the fucking truth? Yeah.
I submit to you that's a very female perspective. From the male.
Yeah, you're a ghost, a specter, an NPC, a non-playable character. You don't matter. You literally don't matter at all.
Male perspective, especially the inkwell perspective, it's about as alien as you can get. But men, viscerally, not intellectually, but viscerally, really struggle with this very concept if you think about it. The concept of, how can that be? I'm here starving. You're telling me that gruel and old potatoes, which may not taste the best and it's not exactly highly nutritious, That'll keep you alive. You're telling me that's not better than just starving to death? That's the perspective of the male. But from the female perspective, well, that literally is the case. All that attention this particular female was getting was irrelevant, not even worthy of being counted as attention. It's only the positive attention that counts. Now, reasonably, obviously, if a guy gets a lot of attention from girls that he's not interested in, he might come to that same conclusion, but it's unlikely. He's more likely to acknowledge that, yeah, I get some attention, but they're not really my types or whatever. There was another female in that chat that I conversed with who purported to know a great deal about inkwells. And it was every meme you could imagine in Normieville, that they are acolytes of Andrew Tate, that they're misogynists, that they're this and that, rather than the unfortunate reality that these guys are just very unlucky. They don't look very good. They're often not tall. They have various mental issues, and the cumulative effect of these disadvantages have put them in this position. Now, why did this second girl chime in? Well, probably because she was trying to sort of defend her fellow female in an act of solidarity. But it's also because that is an alien perspective to her. The idea that no one would be interested in you, that you have so many deficiencies that the world basically shuns you and avoids you at all costs, and when you do make your presence known, actively seeks to shoo you away, that's completely alien. So she couldn't even intellectually really grasp that, what that would be like if no people were interested in you, they didn't want to talk to you, you didn't appeal to anyone. Not that, yeah, most people might not find you attractive, but there are a select few. Basically, no one is into you. Totally alien thought to her. And so men struggle to, beyond the intellectual level, really internalize this idea that women really, really are that picky. And their entire perception of their reality excludes men that they have no interest in.
Yeah. This is just sad, man. Women can't think abstractly. Yeah, it wouldn't surprise me. It wouldn't surprise me at all. Wouldn't surprise me. Can't remember who it is in the manosphere that said it, but broad maturity stops when they realize their SMV. There's some truth there. When they realize how attractive they are, they're like, yeah, I don't gotta do shit anymore. Because, like, at the end of the day, what is, like, when you think about it, when you're growing up and you're maturing, you're growing. So, like, if you realize, oh, I can achieve, it's kind of like somebody who has reached a certain income level. Well, you're probably not going to go above that income level anymore because you've already kind of reached a point where you're happy at. So, you're not actually gonna grow. Why would you go higher than where you need to go, right? Whereas men, we're constantly learning new shit and maturing because we have to. We're forced into it. So it's kind of weird, but well, some of us do anyway. But yeah, I'm not gonna play the whole video once again. But yeah, life is tiring, isn't it? Dude, tell me about it. It's true. As a man, you mature the fastest when under adversity, when women barely face adversity. Yeah, that's true. My God. Life is tiring. When women say they're going to grape, they're talking about attractive and wealthy Christian Grey taking them. Yeah, that's true. You got to break things down to them like literal kids. Well, and truth be told, even if you do, it's not going to make up for anything. Honestly, they don't care. They can't understand it. They don't. Or rather, it's almost like they either they're intentionally obtuse or they really have no concept of what you're talking about, or they just don't care. Because once again, you don't have to care, right? If you're not Chad, you're a possible rapist. But if you're Chad, let's be honest, if he's a rapist, it's fine with her. Teehee. Oh boy. Don is posting good stuff in Geopol. Apparently, Israel sent troops here to beat up protesters. Wow, that's fucking insane, bro. That is insane. Oh man, let's see. Any good? Geopol politics. What is this? Oh, somebody's posting archive messages. Wow. 4chan uncovered that a lot of the most violent protesters at uni campuses were actually Israeli soldiers. What the fuck? Wow. Wow. That is insane, dude. No game, no hope. A broad's empathy directly correlates with how down bad she is. Yeah, that's true. I would agree. That's a good comment. That's a good comment, yeah. Yeah, I would say this is true for everybody, but it's mostly true for women as well. It's more true for women than it is for men. Women just are particularly, they only care when it affects them, right? Like, you know, it's like if they'd experienced it, they're like the exact same way. They're like, oh yeah, I understand you. But if they're not experiencing it, they're like, whatever, dude. You know, it's like in one ear, out of the other ear, right? So it's funny. Oh, dude, it's been an hour. I don't have a lot else to talk about really today, so we'll covered an article, covered 2 videos. Do you think the red pill sabotaged a potential relationship? That's a funny poll. I don't think it does. They're probably bound to fail anyway, but I didn't vote yet. I'll vote later. I gotta analyze that question a little more. Women's version of adversity is a guy being around them that is creepy looking, yet hasn't done nothing but exist and occasionally look at the pretty woman. Yeah. Mystery, what are your top 3 copes? I guess I'm a gym coper, obviously, because I gym cope. Gym cope, video games and family, and not in that order. Probably my family first, honestly, and then probably gym cope, then video games. So meditation, mindfulness cope, yeah. Just hit the gym, bro. Not you too, mystery, dude. You got to do something every day. And rehab room. That's a good video. It's good videos, man. My cope is popcorn maxing, waiting for the collapse. Yeah, well, truth be told, it might already be here, honestly, right? I mean, what really is a collapse, right? Everybody is expecting to see the barbarians coming in and sacking a city or some shit and killing everybody, and all that shit happens, right? You know, what if the collapse is just a slow slog downward, and you know it just collapses around you slowly? Everything just kind of like decays around you in a way, right? So that's probably more likely than the actual, you know, all of a sudden a fucking nuke goes off and we're all just dead, you know. We're in the middle of the collapse. Yeah, we're probably, yeah. They already let the barbarians in, that's true. Yeah, they already let them in. The same way that Rome did, honestly. So, yeah, it's the same shit every time. Going to the gym kind of sucks. Always packed. People hogging machines. Would rather have gym equipment at home. Yeah, me too. I go to the gym during an odd hour, so there's not a lot of people there. There are very few people there anyway, and I just kind of work out and go home. So just like how you're all slowly aging and dying, you just can't tell. Yeah, well, until like, yeah, unless you look at a picture from like 10 years ago to now, you're like, oh wow, I aged a lot. But if you don't, like every day you wake up and you look in the mirror, so you just see the person you see every day, right? So I prefer home workouts. Yeah, I actually work out at home more than I work out at the gym. I only actually go to the gym 3 times a week, just about. So, and I go there to do weights and then go home. I mostly do cardio at home though. Do cardio and hit up the just cardio at home and shit like that. So yeah. When I look in the mirror, I see a clown. Well, you are Ronald McDonald, dude. What do you expect? We are becoming like Asian countries. Basically, we already are, man. We already are. Truth be told, there's two guys. I joined a bowling league where I bowl on Tuesdays, and there's these two guys I bowl with. I just joined this a random team, so I don't know them at all. But they're both one of the guys. He's fair. I think he's about as tall. I think he's like maybe an inch taller than I am. He's like got to be like 6'2", maybe 6'3". I think he's 6'2", and he's a white dude. And I heard one of them saying, "Yeah, like this guy. I guess he's like almost everybody in this generation. They're talking about, oh yeah, I was in this server and this guy he was trying to talk to me about hitting up women and shit. And I was like, oh my god, bro. And this dude had I guess he has a nervous tick, or maybe he has what's it called the thing where you have a tick where you just say random shit. What do they call it? Tourette's. I think he has Tourette's. So he's like talking about, Tourette's tick. He had like I kept hearing him do this weird thing with his like voice. I was like, what the fuck's going on with that? And then I realized, oh, he probably has a tick. I'm like, okay, that's probably what's going on. Yeah, he has Tourette's. And I was like, man, like, but fairly normal looking white dude. Could maybe clean up in an Asian country, but he had that tick. So in America, he's like trash. And then there's this really fat, balding or bald already, white dude, short guy. Not short, he's short, but he's short relative to us, I guess. Fat, balding teacher. And he's just kind of like doing his yeah, I don't know, man. Everybody's just single. Fucking single, dude. Just fucking single. I was like, shit. And I was like, man, like, these guys have nobody. I'm like, I don't have anybody either, man, but it's funny, man. So somebody said they like my a Joker laugh. I can't do that laugh all the time. I got to have certain conditions to do that Joker laugh, dude. It's weird. Women know most of the chads are in the gym, and we'll do gym to get attention from chads. Sausage gathering at the bowling alley. Basically all it is. Single, ready to mingle. Oh my god. Nobody, no prospects, no future. That's true. Yeah. I'll be honest. I don't have any prospects either. So it is what it is. Is it better to go to the gym early in the morning or late at night, like 10 p.m.? My gym closed at 11. I'd probably go at like 9, 8 or 9. I hate being at a gym when it's like when it's like about to close. It's too much stress. So I just go like around about 8 or 9, but I go at like 10 in the morning. So, around about midday. So there's nobody really there, or people are there, but it's not that packed. So you can kind of do what you need to do and then leave. So that's not that bad, which is great. So yeah, that's what I typically do. I only want to go for about an hour. Well, yeah, I don't know. Thinking about going to a 24-hour gym to avoid the crowds. Yeah, the gym I go to is like 24 hours sometimes, so you can go certain days. (9:30 to 11) is enough time. You finish by 10:40. Yeah, that's true. I'm getting motivated to hit the gym now. WINsday evening is a short stream. Don't forget, it is a short stream, dude. Not gonna lie. Yeah, I need to end the stream pretty soon. Gym at 5 p.m. is brutal. Half naked attention whores, dude. Dude, this is why I don't go at peak hours, dog. Peak hours for any gym is like what, maybe like 5 to 8, 5 to 7, because like everybody's off of work at around about 4:30, maybe 5 o'clock. They all run to the gym. They work their ass off, dude. That is like the worst time to go to the gym, dude. Everybody's fucking there, and beyond that, man, like, yeah, literally everybody's there, man. This is true, man. It is true. You're not wrong. I go in the morning because most people are trying to get in and get out. Yeah. I got to work on my eating. Working out is the easy part. Ooh, yeah. I hate how hard it is to pack on weight as a anklet, dude. Dude, I pack on weight so easily, dude. I gotta go to a ninja gym. Yeah, that brother's starving. Yeah. And the broads don't wake up early unless they're muscle heads. That's true. Keep improving, guys. Mystery muscle. Yeah, I gain muscle easily, man. I don't know what the hell's up with that, but just genes, I guess. All right, dudes. I'm in this stream now. No need to fucking prolong the stream than it has longer than it has to be, right? So, all right, dudes. This has been Wednesday Night WINsday. Please like, share, subscribe. Leave a comment if you like the video, or maybe you hated the video. Leave a comment anyway. And never forget, guys, that wasn't fucking gold. See you guys on SNC episode 72 of season 2. At 4 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. Yeah, dude. PM Eastern Standard Time, by the way. And don't forget to once again like, share, subscribe. Leave me a like on the way out. I'm surprised I get as many people in the stream as I do. 65 is not bad for a random ass weekday stream. So, all right, dudes. Once again, enjoy the rest of your week. Cheers, and I'll see you guys on the flip side.